everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Cozy Christopher. Today we're going to be looking at the Orbi 6 Wi-Fi mesh system. So this is going to be the big one. This is the 6000 version. When you look it up on Amazon, one says Premium and then one says Ultra. This is the Ultra 2 satellite edition, so it comes with one router, one satellite, and it's supposed to be up to 5,000 square feet. I looked at this one as well as the Amplify Alien. However, that one you can't find on Amazon. You can only find it on its website, and at the time I looked, it was out of stock, with promises for new to come pretty soon. But so I'm installing this because we moved into this big house and I have had horrible Wi-Fi. I mean, horrible is an understatement, but I mean, even like laying in bed at night, you know, a lot of people will sit there and they kind of, you know, do that thing on their phone. Zero Wi-Fi, and I'm talking about 1 bar of AT&T cell phone service. That's a whole nother, oh my god. So that's probably gonna be changing soon too. But yeah, so we're implementing this into the environment so that we can have stable Wi-Fi. The really big thing about Wi-Fi 6, it's a brand new technology, about a year and a half, close to 2 years maybe. It's still not widely adopted. So I mean, you won't find Wi-Fi 6 devices everywhere. Some of your cell phones, some of your newer laptops, and peripherals, you know, are Wi-Fi 6. But it's one of those things where it just hasn't been completely adopted yet. Wi-Fi 5 is still stable for the most part, and it's cheaper for manufacturers. So they're still using the old AC Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi 5, if you will, you know, going forward. So we're going to implement this into my house. I'm going to show you some spots where it's strong typically, and then I'm going to show you some spots where it's typically weak, and then we're going to do a comparison to see if the Orbi 6 Wi-Fi is better. For starters, I have a Comcast Xfinity X5 gateway. It is a 1 gig coming into the house, not necessarily 1 gig everywhere, but it's 1 gig into the house and into the router. So if you plug it in directly to the Comcast router, you get about 950 gigabytes to my main workstation. So that's the basis of the test, is that 1 gigabyte internet, Comcast Xfinity internet. We're going to do a contrast and comparison between the current Wi-Fi setup that I have now and what the Orbi will provide. We'll do a short unboxing and maybe go through the setup if it even, I mean, some of these setups are extremely fast, so we'll see if it even makes sense to even do a setup video, or make that part of the video. So yeah, let's get into it. let's get to it. This is about 5 feet away from the router, if that. The router's right there on the other side of my computer over there. Alright, so 367 down, 38 up, about 30 feet from the router now. And as you can see, that the speed is already, I mean, it's still not bad, right? So that smart device. LG ThinQ oven's ready. Go put these cookies in. Still in the basement, 30 feet from the router. I'm getting 265 up, 40 down. I am in my wife's office, which is right above where my office is, where the router is. And you can see that we're getting which isn't bad. This is why she never complains. 325 down. About 33 up. Okay, so now we are in the kitchen. I guess we are across the house from my wife's office. You can start hearing kids in the background and things like that. But we're still getting roughly around 100 down, 120 down, 120 down, and about 40 up, 38 to 40 up. Okay, so now I'm in my kid's bedroom. And these are probably the best. These are probably the best numbers I've ever seen from my Wi-Fi network. And it always works out that way, but I am right above my kids, or I guess my wife's office now, which is 3 levels up from my office of where the router is. And I'm getting some pretty nice speeds in here. Okay, so now we are in my bedroom, and this is where I literally never have any service. Yep, as you can see right there, like where I lay down at, you know, most people browse at night, answer comments, different things like that. I literally have 0 service in my bedroom, and again, like, these are some of the best numbers I've friggin' seen since I had to measure it. So look at these are just disrespectful numbers. 16 down, 2 up. Like, I can barely at night browse Instagram. So that's one of the main reasons why I needed to look into a mesh network. This is where this is where you sit down. This is the bathroom and the toilet. And as you can see, my Wi-Fi doesn't even really connect here. So I'm lucky if I get, and I also get bad cell service in my house too. So the master bedroom and master bath where I'm sitting, and now I'm on LTE, so I'm getting 20 in LTE. But again, as you can see, like, alright, so Orbi, the ultimate in smart home Wi-Fi, tri-band mesh Wi-Fi 6 system. So if you're unfamiliar with Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6 is the current fastest Wi-Fi out. There was, and to make it simple, we're not going to do 806.11 AC and blah blah blah. Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5 is the most consistent and most popular used right now. And then Wi-Fi 6 came out about 2 years ago maybe, but even still to this day, not a lot of people have a lot of Wi-Fi 6 devices. Within, I guess, the next year or so, a lot of things will start coming out with Wi-Fi 6. However, there's even another one on the horizon called Wi-Fi 6E, and which is kind of crazy because, like I said, this one isn't even widely adopted yet. But there's a ton of videos out about Wi-Fi 6, so I'm not going to sit here and go in deep detail about it, but quintessentially, Wi-Fi 6 allows you to have, at this time, because there's not a lot of devices that support it, most importantly to everyday use, it's going to allow you to have multiple devices on the network right now without it being congested and without those individual devices losing service. So you can have, 25 plus, devices simultaneously on the internet, streaming 4K, browsing, playing video games, blah, 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 without those dropping off. Pretty simple, it looks like. So, it looks like in here you have your power cords, your flat Ethernet cable. It's not labeled, so I don't know if it's a Cat 5 or Cat 6. I'm assuming it's a Cat 6. And then your two power bricks. So pretty simple packaging, it looks like. And then you have your 2 units. One is a, satellite. This one's the satellite with 4 Ethernet ports. Power brick. Nice and simple design so that it fits in with your decorum. And then this one would be your router. So this one's going to be your main router. That's where you plug in your LAN. It has a 2.5 gigabyte, so that kind of future-proofs you for more advanced speeds. Right now, I only have a gigabyte. I mean, there's nothing more that you can get unless you build something in your house, a networking infrastructure within your house, which I'm not doing that. But so yeah, that's your unboxing. Pretty quick and simple. Next, you're going to run through the setup. So I have to create an account, which I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so now I have my account created, and I'm going to hit next. Yes, I want to install, set up. You see how they hyping the product up. To receive a powerful coverage throughout your home. Get started. Alright, so now I'm going to scan the QR codes that came on the router. It's telling me basically to unplug my current ISP router and then from there clear out any batteries or anything like that and then restart it. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so now that it's plugged in and you have power in the back, and you can tell that because there's a little light right here that's green. It indicates that it's receiving power. I'm going to use the cable that they provided, and I'm going to plug this into my ISP router. Like I said, I have the gigabit signal coming in from Comcast, and next is telling me to go to a spot where I can connect the satellite. Okay, so right now the satellites are connecting, and there's only one satellite in this setup, so it's connecting to the main router downstairs. And I didn't do any research to see what the light colors meant, but I'm assuming that purple means it's found. So now we're going to go to the next step, which is to personalize the network. All right, guys, so I got it all set up now. It took forever, like literally. I'm not happy with the setup, but we'll see. So test the speed. Oh, wow. See, oh wow. Huh. I'm not even gonna lie, when I saw that the upload was about 40, I was like, what the hell, it's the same. But it's saying that I'm getting over a gig up, a gig down. Nah, hold on now. Hold on. Oh, hold on now. Before I hype this thing up, let's go to the trouble spot and see what they talking about over in that bathroom. For consistency, I might have been too hype on the last, so for consistency, let's see what this one's talking about. Yeah, earlier it was 400 when I did this. We're getting into sixes, and it's still going up. And this is Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, that's golden. When they get their Xbox Series S and they hardwire that thing with that streaming service, they're gonna be golden. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's huge. And you guys saw what I was getting here earlier. I mean, if this is the slow spot of the house, I'm completely fine with this. Alright, this is where it matters. As you can see, I'm back in the bathroom at the toilet, where earlier I didn't even have Wi-Fi and it dropped. So this would be the biggest tell. Look at that. I mean, 60 is like low, but when you think about that it wouldn't even connect to Wi-Fi earlier. I mean, 60, I guess, tells my age. Like 60 is not slow for real, but the fact that, you know, I got a gig and I'm getting 60, but this should tell you how far I am from the router, and that I am now getting actual Wi-Fi over here. And now I'm back in the dining room. Hopefully I have enough battery life to finish the video. Oh. $434 down and 36.8, about 37 up. Alright, so now we're back in my wife's office. Right above where the router is, and look at that. I mean, these numbers are going above what a typical cell phone would even need or do on its own, you know, from a Wi-Fi standpoint. 618 down, like that's crazy. Too bad it's not the Napster days where where we were downloading music for test and trial. 618 down and 36.7 up on Wi-Fi. That's crazy. That's I mean, those are exciting numbers, super exciting numbers. And here I am back in my office where it all started. About 5 feet away from the router. It just keeps climbing. It's interesting that it didn't beat the numbers from my wife's office above. But still, I mean, 588 down on a cell phone, 40.2 up. All right, for shits and giggles, I'm gonna do it one more time. Yeah, these are just blazing fast speeds. Now, you know, it's interesting that, you know, the main router sits right next to my ISP router. And I wonder if there's any combating each other for the airwaves from the signal standpoint. I have to do some research on that, or see if plugging the Orbi into the ISP kills the signal from the original one. Let me connect back to the other Wi-Fi and see. That's interesting. Because this is something that I haven't seen anybody do. I haven't seen anybody do this. After they plug it in, everybody kind of focuses on the new one. So I mean, you can see that clearly the Orbi is faster than the Comcast. 366 compared to, you just saw a couple 580s, you just saw one close to 600. The up is about the same, but clearly the Orbi is faster from a download standpoint. So that's super interesting, you know, with them being side by side, that the Orbi is that much faster. Okay, so I am I'm super happy with the results. I mean, you could definitely see that there was a huge increase in speed in certain areas. I mean, the bathroom, I threw that one in there for shit and giggles because literally Everybody goes to the bathroom when they wake up in the morning. They kind of walk around with their phone and blah blah blah, and then, kind of check email, blah. The first thing when you wake up. But zero service there, so it's been a constant frustration for a little over a month now, since we moved into this house, that there's no Wi-Fi in that part of the house with the gig speed coming, with the gig connection coming into the house. Like, how is that possible? So that's the good news, is that the speed was extremely surprising and fast in a lot of areas. And even the little test that I just did here, about 5 feet away from the router, it's 200 megabytes per second consistently faster than the other router right there. Horrible. The setup was freaking horrible. Like, the setup was a nightmare. Like, I didn't even record all of it because there were times where I was just sitting there looking at my phone like, are you shitting me? But, how often are you going to, like, set it up, right? Power goes out maybe. Or, damn, that's it's drywall. Knock on wood. Hopefully this isn't, there's no issues with that, that it will drop and you have to reset and things like that. Because if I have to go through that setup all the time, like, that would be a nightmare, and I'll sell it depending on how long I've had it. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a follow-up video in the next couple weeks to just a quick, like, 3 to 4 minute vlog type thing to let you guys know whether or not it's worth the money. $699. Don't tell the wife. But $699, I should not have any issues with this. I should not have any drops. I should not have to reset this thing, other than like I said, a power out or something like that. But stay tuned. I'm extremely happy with this. It's almost like dealing with bad customer service, but getting a really great product. You know what I mean? It's like the product is freaking awesome, but the setup was bad customer service. It was like, it should not have taken that long. I didn't record it all, but there was a couple times where it dropped, and at the beginning I was like, should I even record the setup? Yeah, I should, because I want you all to know the setup sucked. And that might have just been my scenario because of the size of the house and how far the router is to the satellite. But for the kids to have a seamless gaming experience when they get their new Xbox Series S, that satellite had to sit there so they could directly plug that in and have that strong connection. Gaming problems, like first world problems, right? But hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. When I was researching this, there was so much information that I was overwhelmed. And there were days, I looked at this for like 2 weeks. There were days where I was just like, buying that one. And then I was like, nah, I can't just do that. There was so much information. So if you're going through this process like I was going through this process, and you have questions about what was my final buying decision, like between this and whatever else, what were the things that I was considering, different things like that. Like, my videos are always long, and I was trying to make this one short. It still didn't work out that way. But I love interacting with you all in the comment section below. So ask your questions away, and then I'll answer them, of course, on the fly. But when I do the follow-up video in a couple weeks, I'll make sure to bring some of those up, and I'll just kind of do a Q&A and kind of a quick vlog and update, and let you all know that. But I got some more cool stuff coming, so stay tuned. Look, I keep rambling. See you later. Bye.